Good evening. I see my camera isn't on. I should fix that. There we go. Good evening. I am Max Porter. I am the writer, editor, lore keeper, board game designer, stream host, and various other things at City State Entertainment by day. By night, I am often a dungeon master, prepping for a campaign. This particular moment, I am prepping for... Am I live? I am live. At this particular moment, I am prepping for my D&D game, which is called The Wildlands. It is a hex crawler, which was suggested to me when I watched a video by the great Matt Colville. At least the idea for it was. The initial seed. And I am currently in the midst of creating an encounter. The players, you see, used a deck of illusions, which randomly summoned a red dragon. And a lot of their, and they also spent a lot of their energy fleeing from a shrine they found in the wilderness, which was the site of an attack by an orcish tribe. The tribe has now been left mostly in their dust, although the orcs have continued to track them across this desert. I try never to, after the initial reveal of where they started, I don't tell the players where they are. So there's the possibility they could get lost. That has not happened thus far, as they have kept excellent records. Probably even better than my own, honestly. But they are currently sort of on the very northeastern edge of this hex, crossing the border into 1313, where Taurine lies, which is where they started the game. What they don't know is that Taurine may not be what it once was. They have some inkling, but one of the players, the Barbarian, found a map with some major settlements from a long time ago on it. And when he touched Taurine, he spent some of his total health, not current, but total health, and how do I put this in the discard pile? Just delete it. All right. Trying to properly... very cool things, but very mysterious things. In Roll20, it's how do the decks of cards work? Take card, flip card. What if I take it? Can I then discard it? This is a deck of illusions pulled from a post on Imgur. Textures by myfreetextures.com. I need to put that credit on this page, don't I? And map by hexographer. This is very annoying. No, stop doing that. Well, regardless, I will just delete it for now. So, in the course of fleeing this orcish tribe, the players, the party, has begun to be chased across the desert, which is gradually, I described it, gradually turning into more of a grassland as they are crossing into the hex where Taurine lies. But they're not out of the desert quite yet. And so here we find ourselves at this beautiful stone bridge map, which is very three-dimensional, which I've got to... one of my goals for this encounter is to get the players' characters to climb up some of these levels and maybe do battle with the Yeth Hound that has begun to chase them. Already rolled initiative. It's not in order yet because I'm keeping it out of order in order to remind myself that this player, who was absent last time, needs to roll initiative and be added in next time. Also, this map is by Aaron, or Ari, rather, who has a Patreon where they make more amazing maps like these. I have grabbed this one from a post on Imgur that Ari made. And man, I've used all my desert maps have been from that Imgur post because it was so great. So one of the things I want to do here is the players may or may, well, they'll probably turn and attack the Yeth Hound. But one of the things the Yeth Hound does is it has a special bay. How can there not be Hellhound? Oh, yes. We do not have the, because the Yeth Hound is from Volo's Guide to Monsters. So the Yeth Hound has a special bay. Ooh, actually, I have a voice mod thing for this. Let's see if it's gonna play nice. Creepy, right? Going for more of a Hounds than the howl of a wolf. Baleful Baying. The Yeth Hound bays magically. Every enemy within 300 feet of the Hound that can hear it must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of the Hound's next turn or until the Hound is incapacitated. A frightened target that starts his turn within 30 feet of the Hound must use all his movement on that turn to get as far from the Hound as possible. Must finish the move before taking an action and must take the most direct route. And here's the key part. Even if hazards lie that way, a target that successfully saves is immune to the baying of all Yeth Hounds for the next 24 hours. So, also Yeth Hounds, although they only have an intelligence of 5, they do have a wisdom of 12. So what that means is, I think the generally accepted interpretation of that would be, they may not be the greatest at planning and tactics, but they do understand, you know, a general kind of strategy. They'll just have a hard time changing it. they have a certain low cunning. And will certainly be smart enough to... the description of the Yeth Hounds says that they will follow you all night until you drop dead of exhaustion. Now, these little sleepy faces on the players show that they have some exhaustion already, simply from pushing themselves really, really hard to get away from the orc tribe that has been following them. I'm going to double check that my sound is working. Following them. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So, that has a range of 300 feet. I think there might be another Yeth Hound. Because... well, that would be more balanced. We have 7 player characters. This is a CR4 monster. They're going to make short work of it, even though they are level 3. They have pretty good ranged attacks. The Yeth Hound does not have much ranged attacks, but its bite, if it hits, its bite will be pretty deadly. Pretty dang hard. 2d6 plus 4 piercing damage plus 46 psychic damage if the target is frightened. So I think the thing the Yeth Hound wants to do is just keep baying until everyone's frightened. I wanted to do a little bit of sound organization here as well. This folder that I have of the atmosphere tracks is getting way too enormous to navigate. It takes me like 5 minutes to find anything. I should break it down into smaller categories, but that's okay. I'm not doing sound right now. I'm doing encounter design. So, it's balanced to have another Yeth Hound, at least one. Probably could even get away with having 3 for like a really serious challenge. But I think we're going to go with 2. So 1 Yeth Hound is one thing, because they can all focus it. Another Yeth Hound changes the dynamic quite a bit. And for that, I need a bigger map. While this map is long lengthwise, the path across it goes the short way, which is actually really annoying. Because obviously the focal point is here, right? The focal point of the map is right here. So most of the battling, if you set up an ambush here or something, it's going to be people dropping down off of this stone bridge. Hey, Brand, thanks for dropping by. I know it's been a while since I did a stream, but we have moved and whatnot. We have moved, and the baby's going to sleep, and hopefully asleep by now. So I'm streaming. Brand says, I stopped using Roll20 music except for layering sounds. I subbed to a Patreon that lets me play music from YouTube/SoundCloud on Discord through a bot. That's very cool. That's very cool, Brand. I try to be pretty careful with it because I don't want my videos to get muted. And I know all the stuff that's on Roll20 now is okay to use. So they've slightly improved the system, the jukebox. I don't know, I just really like a lot of the things. Like, gosh, here's like my favorite thing that I haven't used yet. But I think this orc tribe that the players have been fleeing from is going to be a great lead-in to the Orc War March. Yeah. I think that's amazing. You can hear the war machines, monsters and drums, the marching orcs. See, there's stuff like that you just can't get rid of. And I don't know. I'm sure your system is awesome too. I just like the. It's annoying that you can't do everything you want to do easily in the jukebox, but I like it. It's convenient. Anyway, getting distracted. Bran, yeah, for streaming that could get flagged. Thankfully, I don't stream. Yeah, that Orc War March is pretty sick. I have a random mushroom here to remind myself to drop something in for the druid, because we did have a Vegapygmy, which was pretty interesting. Oh man, that Vegapygmy should come back. I think the druid. Yeah, there's some to buy, but I don't have anything. I think everybody has written like a backstory of some kind, except the druid player, who's like told it, you know, in like chat, in like our little, you know, Discord that we have for just us players. But whatever. Anyway, where was I? Yes, making the encounter. So I'm gonna make this map bigger. Already used this. More desert. Now, obviously, I just used this. The players had to abandon this camp. They kind of were hearing the sounds of the orcs catching up to them. And I actually was rolling for the orcs, and they managed to kind of hear our Eric Hooker player. So they were eventually going to probably find that campsite. And they were already tired at that point, but they decided to push on all the way through the night. It's been quite a frantic thing. They've been moving quickly, and that let the Yeth Hounds get the drop on them, or it would have, except that Aquitus, the tiefling who was kind of leading the pack, rolled a natural 20. Even though Yeth Hounds are like smoke and can fly, doesn't give them any particular skill in stealth, and they have good dex, 17. But he rolled a natural 20, so I let him spot the Yeth Hound. But yes, so I'm gonna pull up another one of these maps. It will also be by Airy Makes Maps. One of the desert maps that was posted on Imgur. So I'm gonna kind of extend this map because I think, especially, I mean, if this guy just does a bay, you know, frightens some of these players who might fail their wisdom saving throw, they're just going to run right off this map. And that's bad for two reasons. Because of where I placed the Yeth Hound, well, I could have the Yeth Hound move before baying, actually. That would be a good thing. That's a good plan I should make. Because if the Yeth Hound moves up here, with his 40-foot fly, alright, so there. Flies up and over the bridge there. He can bay, and then I'll at least scare players in this direction rather than straight off the edge of the map. Or I could have the other Yeth Hound appear from over this way. I've got options. How nice of you. Yeah, well, I see there's no hazards. There's no real hazards. Unless, like, somebody, like, ends up, like, way up on this bridge, and then the bang causes them to jump off. That could be problematic. I should make a couple notes to myself. Let's see. If each of these These layers don't look to be particularly tall. I could rule that they're particularly tall, but they don't look particularly tall. So if each one is 5 feet, 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. Then it's a 15-foot drop off of there, which is not that bad. That's a little bit of damage. I guess to go straight up here is 10 feet because this one looks lower down over here. So that's 5. So this is 10. I think that's pretty believable. I'll have to rule on this one. That's probably going to be 5. So there's a little step up. All very climbable. Not a lot with flying creatures. There's just not a lot of reason tactically to climb up there. I mean, sure, you might, the flying creature can kind of hide behind some of this stuff. But it's not like there's a whole lot of Anakin, I have the higher ground going on with flying creatures. Akiri can fly. The Aarakocra can fly as well, so that's also going to kind of make it less necessary. All in all, it might be more interesting if there was something other than a second Yeth Hound. I mean, they've been pushing to avoid the orcs, so I don't think that's going to happen. And Yeth Hounds are part of a pack, so it definitely makes sense. Alright, so let's say the Yeth Hound moves before Bang. Scares some people in this direction. Of course, he scares... Oh, excuse me. If he scares this guy, again, right off the map. I don't know, the more I look at it, the more I think I really do need to expand this map. Let me see if I've got anything. Do. So I want a map that looks pretty similar to this one in coloration and style. Now, how wide is the page so far? Because to make this a good encounter, we're going to have to be precise. It's 25 wide. So let's double that. 250. Okay. That is going to make this quite a huge map. I'd kind of like to continue the path as well. I could just repeat this map. Let's see how that looks. Because if it doesn't look bad... let's flip it horizontally. Let's flip it vertically. Oh, then it doesn't match up. It's not going to match up that way either. Once I shift it up a little bit. Ugh, it doesn't look good. Too much of the same thing. Classic desert problem. Alright, I think I have something that'll work. Something with, It's gotta be oriented the same way too, which is a little annoying. Well, maybe the path does just peter out. Alright. I think we'll say it does. Alright, so again, this map is also by Area Makes Maps. There it is. Sorry, that was probably dull to watch me staring at something off the screen. But I'm back now. Oh, Kenny, hi there. High ground is the best ground, clearly indeed. Brand, Kenny, if they don't have tool use or higher intelligence, there's not much advantage outside of potentially spotting your prey target first. You can also remain upwind, I suppose, if you fear scent type abilities. There are a few creatures I guess that also want to jump down on prey. Maybe put a rock up there, says Brand, with something behind it. Get some cover and hard to hit unless you go up there. Yeah, that I think has some merit. I think that definitely has some merit. Oh man, it's times like this I wish I had like Photoshop functions on Roll20 so I could like kind of fade these together. They're the same color and the same style, and that's gonna have to do me. That's gonna have to do. I think it looks all right. The only reason I care so much is that when you're playing online, the map and the stuff you're looking at is really all you have. Like, it becomes so much more important. I mean, I guess I think terrain in Dungeons and Dragons is so important. It's what I focus on and in-person games. But when you're playing online, you don't have the in-person like physicality and the tactility of moving pieces around on a board. I'm going to delete this mushroom. It does look woefully out of place. So over here we have some actually tall objects. So that's, if we keep the same pattern, so 5, 10, 15, 20, possibly 25 feet or more at these columns. I think that looks good. So we'll just say the path peters out. But you don't have the face-to-face action, and you don't have the tactile fun of it. All you have is, oh, that's a really pretty map. So it's absolutely worth putting the work in and buying maps and whatnot. So we'll just expand this map so that they think that, alright, we can deal with this one Yeth Hound. But this Yeth Hound is going to this Yeth Hound is once it lets loose, well, after this first initial round of combat, I haven't rolled the Yeth Hound's dexterity yet for initiative. The Yeth Hounds can see 60 feet in the dark, but only 60 feet in the dark, which is interesting. I guess that doesn't matter because the baying just is within 300 feet, which is wider than this entire map, even doubled. So they have a big area of effect on their baleful baying, but you have to be within 30 feet of the hound for it to actually, for the frightened condition actually trigger you to run. Which means that, so I think our other Yeth hound, I haven't given the players the opportunity to roll to spot it yet. So, to be fair, it's going to have to be hiding over here. And I will not... I will not put this on the map. I'm just putting it here to show you guys. The detail matters since brand. Kenny says it should be fine for the purposes of play. Yeah, it should be fine for the purposes of play. I don't know what other purposes there would be for it. Yeah. Brand says, sometimes you might even get people asking what that line is. Like, does that road just stop? Yeah, I'll just say it peters out. They were following a track through the desert, but it is the middle of the night. Which, actually, would be fun to kind of suggest that. It's the middle of the night, but the moon is nearly full, so... there is enough light to see by. I don't want to do fog, really. Let's see, this might be too dark. No, it's going to look like fog. Yeah, it totally looks like fog. I had a whole fog monster in a Halloween game that I ran. So I've got lots of fog options. But it would be fun to kind of... because this does look like daytime desert. Ooh. The Warg. That would have been a good Yeth hound, too. Rawr. Damn. But it'll make a good work. And this guy he death is Devil Dog, which comes from the Roll20 Pro set, one of them. He just looks like he's flying. So I'm going to stick with that. I don't seem to have any darkness handy, which is odd. Is this going to look terrible when it's really big? It doesn't look great. Well, let's put it on the right layer. It's not bad. It's not that bad. Not sure why I can't find my... I have some great darkness stuff. Here we go. The problem is this just has like a dark center or a dark edge. It's not going to look right. So maybe this won't look terrible, but it does have that dark sort of center. This one has so much texture to it. It's almost like looking at, let's see if this one looks better. It is nighttime. It's a little bit less busy. I think I like that one better. Can I set the dimensions other than pixels? Okay, I know it's 50 wide. But how tall is it? I can't remember. That does not look half bad. Now it looks like it's nighttime. You can tint it. Oh, that's true, Brand. Duh. Let's move this to the side for a minute. I forgot you can tint backgrounds. Wait, can you? There it is, tint color. Yeah. Well, that looks fine. Why didn't I think of that, Brand? Is this... I got the right thing. Yeah, let's delete that. I was trying to be way too clever. How will black will look anyway? Let's just see. Doesn't look half bad. I think it looks great. I think that looks great. Thank you so much for reminding me I could do that, Brand. Oh man, that's a creepy place to be. Why is this music? I thought this music was creepy, but it's actually just very peaceful. Guess I'll put it there. Different category. Some of these I never refilled. Is it just my sound or is it very quiet? There we go. All right. Yeah, now it looks like the middle of the night. Kenny says one streamer... Ooh, boy, I had some trouble loading that. Yikes. Too much. Too much at once. Crieth the roll 20. Alright. So I think... oh, right. Kenny, what did you say? One streamer I know is helping to make one of his settings groups, and he wanted casting with cards as an option. One deck I described as Fog Monsters, a major feature of Fog Monsters can be fun. Oh, yes. I had a kind of a vampire fog. But it was Yog Sothoth. The Lovecraftian being. And I had the players all... you would have liked it, Kenny. They had to find pieces of a poem and then recite that poem in order to bring Yog Sothoth into this world so that he could be fought and defeated. But of course, that made him stronger. Alright, now this looks creepy with those green glowing eyes. It's like, oh, something is wrong here. Night in the desert. I'll play the Desert Winds on... this is going to be played on Sunday night. There it is. That'll be sick. As the winds come whipping around the stone outcroppings that litter this almost trackless desert. That'll be a nice kind of effect. So I'll have 2 Yeth Hounds. Because I want it to be enough of a challenge that they don't really want to deal with it. And because I am fair... right, I rolled a 43 to get the scale of it, the danger of it, but they are choosing to explore at night. And so that gives, I roll that adds a plus 10% both to the chance of having an encounter. Well, actually, no. The chance of having to encounter is there's really, I just roll for it every hour that they travel at night in the wildlands, in the wilderness. And then I add plus 10% to the danger. I roll a D100 to kind of scale the danger. And a 53, as opposed to a 43, means a kind of a good challenge. So 1 Yeth Hound would be pretty dang easy for this 7-person party. And also, it doesn't really make sense, because they travel in packs. To me, like, a pack would really be, like, 3 Yeth Hounds. But 3 Yeth Hounds would... 3 Yeth Hounds would probably be harder than a 53 would be. Certainly harder than a 43 scale. So, yeah, so I try to do things randomly to a certain extent, but it's an adjudicated random by quite a bit. Kenny has some suggestions. In desert, they normally put cactus, bones, dust balls, and shrubbery. A water hole with some plant life, animal tracks, and defecation and such. Burrows might be found near where the hounds lair. Approaching the water hole would be enough for the hounds to attack, would make one wounded, and that's why they're hanging around, and some HP damage. It cannot charge or run. That's not a bad idea for a 3rd Yeth Hound, Kenny. But see, Yeth Hounds. Yeth Hounds are minions of a Dark Master. They are summoned into being by powerful Fae. And they will hunt you down. So it's not about defending their lair. To these Yeth Hounds, home is where the master is. I think I think, yes. So this Yeth Hound, I'm going to put him on the GM info overlay. So he's invisible, but I'll remember where he is. And he is not 8 squares up, which is how I represent flying by using the wing. Oh no. Now I've got to load because I zoomed in. Come on, roll 20. You did it. Alright. Thanks for the reminder about tinting, Brand. It'd probably be even harder to load if I didn't do it that way. So this guy is going to be almost touching the ground. The Yeth Hounds are not like wolves or wargs even. They are flying, barely in this world. Shadow Hounds. They're supposed to have humanoid faces, but I have these guys. We'll say he is just 1 square off the ground. His paws never quite touch. The hounds may have been left to patrol an area and guard by themselves if they had to fight the hounds. The master don't be too much. Human-faced dogs are silly anyways. I think these hounds were sent by a member of the orc tribe, or some associate, or an ally. Yes, an ally to the orc tribe. I should make a note of that. Excuse me again. An ally to the orc tribe controls the hounds. Hounds controlled by an ally to the orc tribe. Also, I need a name for the tribe. Tribe. Human-faced dogs are silly anyways. Yeah, it's silly and yet also creepy, but I like the glowing green eyes thing. Alright, so I've got my bigger map. I've got my nighttime setting. I've got a Yeth Hound that has appeared. I know that the I think I came up with a name for the orc tribe, but I forgot it. Dang. So to make this encounter interesting, so what's going to happen is this guy's going to roll initiative. For the sake of argument, we'll say gets a 6. Oof. So +3 is a 9. So that means he's gonna not go until after Cordy, Mavra, Equitas, and Breath. So both melee characters, but these two have some pretty serious, especially Equitas, the Tiefling Warlock, has some pretty serious ranged power. So I know that's going to happen. But what I really want, my real goal here, is to have the Hound... okay, so if they miss, the Hound will try and scare them out of their path and scatter them. Because every single one of them, and they have to run by taking the most direct route. which is awesome, because that means if the Hound can get over here, for example, it doesn't say what kind of action it is for the Hound to bay. Does that mean that it can just do it all the time? I assumed that it was a standard action. I'm actually not sure. This used to be clear in previous editions of the game, as if it didn't list an action, it was always a standard action. He might be able to just bay, which would mean he could dash. Means he could dash and bay. So that means he could get here. Gotta learn the stats of the monster. Just part of this. If he can get here and bay, then that will successfully scatter them. Because that means, you know, if they all failed, which is unlikely, but if they all failed, this character would have to go this direction, this character would have to go this direction, this character would have to go this direction, and just start scattering them. And then things can get much scarier when this guy comes in and starts scaring them again, and then they start wandering around, potentially. Now, what's awesome about that, of course, is they might take some damage falling off of the cliffs in the night, but it's not going to be lethal. What is lethal is the Hound's bite. But the Hounds, since the Hounds are controlled by an ally of the Orc tribe, their goal is not to kill the players by themselves. Their strange Fey pact master, which might be a hag or something equally fun, like a witch doctor out here in the desert that's a hag. Ugh, creepy. The Yeth Hound's goal is to actually scare them, to delay them, to scare them back into the waiting arms of the Orc tribe. Because Yeth Hounds, I mean, they're not just going to be hungry in the desert. I randomly rolled these guys, by the way. I didn't just decide that they were going to be Yeth Hounds attacking. I use Pie and Dragon's awesome generator, which, if someone asks, is right here. Okay. Seems pretty well set up. So I'm just going to say these are all 5 feet. Every layer is 5 feet. This is 10 feet because there's a layer over here. Don't want to fall in this hole. Ooh, we do have a crevasse. We do have a big old crack in the ground. It's not conveniently located for the Yeth Hounds, but they're not very intelligent. So they won't be able to switch tactics very easily. I probably only have the Yeth Hound's bite if cornered. If they can somehow ground them, which I don't think they can do, but if... then the Hounds will turn to bite. And their bite is nasty if you're frightened. Really frickin' nasty. I mean, 2d6 plus 4 normally, which is already pretty good for this challenge of 4. But it's and then another 46 psychic if you're frightened. Pretty dang amazing. So yeah, that's potentially lethal if they both bit somebody weak. But the Yeth Hounds aren't smart enough to do that, really. So this encounter, while they certainly could come to blows, I think if the Yeth Hounds are attacked, they might swoop in and bite as well, especially on like a frightened target. The Yeth Hounds are going to play with them a little bit because it's a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw, which means they can totally fail. So I think their main goal, really, is for them to exit the map and just get away from the Yeth Hounds. And then I can describe how, they keep running on through the night, getting more and more exhausted. What do more levels of exhaustion do, anyway? Let's see. So several of them have level 1. Oh, speed halved. Then disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Hit point maximum halved. Speed reduced to 0. And finally, death. Pretty freaking amazing. So Yeth Hounds will hound them for a while yet, until they finally reach Taurine dead on their feet. And that'll use up some of their resources. I think I might take your advice, Kenny. And we'll say this Yeth Hound is injured. He's taken some damage. So he's been reduced by a little more than half to 25 hit points. So he's really not going to want to engage. That's why he's hiding. This guy's hiding because he was waiting to be summoned back by the Master. Kenny suggests you can always get a Master way to heal them up if they're not found dead. Yeah. Well, the Master's not going to show up yet. That will be used for something later down the road. Because this is an ally. Whoever it is, it's not an actual orc. I don't think. It's an ally. It's some kind of ally to the orc tribe. And, yeah. One thing the players could do, so they're not going to want to, the ally to the orc tribe is not going to want to expend any resources if they can help it. I should figure out who this is. Probably, maybe something hooking into the Warlock's backstory, which is full of these shadow worshipping cultists. Although they might sound worse than Yeth Hounds. Pardon me for the that was my notification. Okay. So that's reducing this Yeth Hound's HP and having it be injured will make this significantly easier. That's going to drop this, because that's really just, because he's not going to want to engage. That's going to drop this, I wonder what injured him. Some other kind of night creature. A wyvern in the desert. Did not like the Yeth Hound pack traveling by, doing their frightful baying. And attacked. Be pretty rad. I'm going to put a little blood spatter here for the players to see. And if they're very, very perceptive, see, that's not on the GM layer, so they can see it. If they're very, very perceptive, they may wonder what's going on there. And that'll give them a chance to realize not only is this one injured, but that I should use this thing for something. But that there is an enemy there before it reveals itself. Hello, Broda. Lion Nation. Thanks. Yeah, I love... I use Voice Mod Pro. So, pretty cool. Just working on this encounter with these Yeth Hounds. Flying, shadowy, devil dog things. That have been sent after the players by some ally of an orc tribe they're fleeing from. Very smart of them to flee, actually. I had a pretty tough encounter set up. A pretty deadly one. Ready for them after they let some orc, part of an orc hunting party get away and killed an important member of it before they did, so the orc tribe has been hunting them down. So on the main map, they are trying to get back to Taurine, which is itself in a whole heap of trouble that they don't really know about yet. I have things set up when they arrive in Taurine. That's what I need to work on next. I'm pretty happy with the Yeth Hound encounter. I think it's going to be a lot of scrambling over these rocks in fear. Scraping knees and elbows, as I'll describe it, doing like little bits of damage at a time. I'm just really looking to layer on some levels of exhaustion and not really much more. Before the players get to Taurine, and not just to make things harder, but because I think that's an interesting challenge. And because it just makes sense. It's been a really interesting chase. When they get to Taurine, they will find it on fire and overrun by devils. I wonder how this map would look if I blew it up bigger. I wonder. This ship is flying, for anyone who's wondering. This ship flies, which is why it is indeed a strange sight to see an enormous ship on a small pond and creek. Kenny has some suggestions. An Ankeg, a Boulette, or Boulet, as some say, giant-sized scorpion or giant man scorpion was in one monster manual or another. Yeah, I remember those. Thrykeen. What suggestions are those, Kenny? Other land-bound monsters that might join this fight? Lion Nation sounds pretty cool. I didn't know so much planning went into something like this. Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to do improv and be spontaneous, you've got to do plan. you've got to do planning. I try to be a good minimalist DM. I use a lot of advice, and I just try to be as good as I can. And often that means doing a lot of planning. Sometimes you got to try to make sure that the planning isn't the only fun part. Possible creatures that attacked the Yeth Hounds, says Kenny. It might be found dead, wounded, or simply left tracks and such before it left on its merry way. Well, it can't be... Well, it could be an Ankeg, maybe, because they can spit. But a Boule, or a Scorpion, or a Thrykeen, the Yeth Hounds can fly. And they can hover. So... Which is kind of what makes them so creepy. But, I wonder... Oh, wow, there's a scale on this map that I never noticed before. That's 40 feet. This is huge. I don't know how good this map is going to look when I blow it up big. Let's see. Let's do an experiment. So eventually they're going to get through that desert encounter. And then they're going to get to Taurine. And Taurine will be... That's too long of a name. Taurine will be overrun with devils. Alright, let's make it enormous. 55 played 55 is pretty darn big. I could go bigger still. Paste. Okay. How's it gonna look if we blow it up enormously big? Oof. Not great is the answer. Lionation. I was just remembering your advice to me today when I was leaving for college, oddly enough. You told me to never stop reading good books, and I totally ignored that advice the last 3 years. But I just started reading again, and it reminded me of that. Wow, Leo. Lionation. Not Leo Nation, Lionation. That's really special, dude. Thank you. You know, I was keeping to my advice at the time, but recently, as I've been taking care of a small... Oh, it doesn't look that bad. Oh, it's not big enough, is it? The scale is 40 feet. So that means this needs to be more than doubled in size. It's not going to look good. But I could shrink things down. I've been reading less books lately myself, I have to admit. Let's go crazy. 105. Making a very, very, very wide map. Actually, that's too narrow. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Is this going to load? You can say my name. Okay. You got it, Lionation. Kenny, I read a lot online. So many light novels. Yeah, I gotcha. Every freaking sentence blows my mind in a new way. Oh, I'm in the middle of Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. The best thing you've ever read so far. Wow. I'm not familiar with that book. But now I'm very interested. Alright, this is an experiment. Probably not going to be able to get away with blowing up this map that huge. Oh boy. Well, it's not great, but it's not unusable. Let's see. So it's still too small. All right, we're going crazy. I don't know if this might just crash Roll20, which would be bad. I'm scared. I'm scared of making this any bigger. Let's do it. What if I can't load the game ever again? What is that book? Cannot recommend highly enough. Won the Pulitzer Prize as well. Happens to take place in Virginia. Save before making changes. Well, I mean, it just saves constantly, Kenny. I don't really have any control over it. Oh boy. Okay, all right. It's not killing me yet. We're still up. Uh-oh. Interesting, Lion Nation. The best book I have read recently was, I think, The Sleeping Giant by Kazuo. What is it? No, not The Sleeping Giant. Ishiguro, The Buried Giant. The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. Really, really, really amazing book. Okay. Have we got pretty much the right scale now? This map is ridiculously huge. It's gigantic. Easily the biggest map ever. Oh my god, it's still not big enough. Close enough. Pretty close. And you know what? It doesn't look that bad. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look that bad. Bogey made this map. Really amazing map maker. One of the worries is once it stays that way, it's stuck, so when it opens, it'll always crash it. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, Lion Nation, exactly. I realize I can listen to audiobooks at work, so in only a week, I'm already a third of the way through Crime and Punishment as well. Dang, dude. Yeah, audiobooks. I never got into audiobooks. Seems like the way to go. Well, the nice thing about using this map is that it will be correct. You know, to Taurine. And then they can have encounters all across it. Whew, that'd be intense. And then their tiny, teeny, tiny little character. Boop. So small. That's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. It's working for now. I think that the encounter that I've planned will probably take place right in this area, because this is the inn that they care about. There's the alchemist over here that they care about with the little garden for magic herbs. And this will give me lots of room. I wanted these buildings to be on fire. And that'll give me lots of room to spring a whole bunch. Something from GMI found on YouTube called Jim Murphy. Game Methuselah. He's awesome. Something he calls the Murphy Orc Trap. I'm going to not use orcs here because the orcs in this setting are kind of out in the wilds. But in town, this town has been attacked by devils due to the player's own actions. So there's just going to be a crap ton of these things. Lemurs, who are super easy monsters. Oh, not background, no. But, oh boy, he's going to really be small, isn't he? Huh. Not a lemur. Lemure. Probably more like lemure, huh? And these guys are just going to come swarming out of the burning buildings. And that's where it's going to start to get really tough to load the page, because it's not just going to be huge, but I'm going to cover it in all these little tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be one of the biggest fights I've ever done. 9, 10, 11, 12. So, like, double that. Now, the players don't really have a wizard. They don't really have, you know, fireball. I'm not sure if lemures have, like, resistance to fire. But they are devils. So they might. Ooh. Is it... Oh, wait. Is he in the wrong... He's on the map, isn't he? Yep. That's so dumb. Okay. Are there a bunch of broken down buildings and signs of fighting? There are, Kenny. But I want all of these guys to be hiding in probably one of these buildings. Probably this building. All these guys are going to be hiding in there. And then when the players approach, I'm going to put a portal. I'm going to put like a swirling portal here. And probably not do anything. Not going to do this. This is asking for problems. Loading the page. As much as I would love to. That's probably asking for problems. Well, I don't know. I could... Ooh, okay, let's try it. Oh, there it is. Sexy. I don't know how it'll work with multiple players, but there'll be a swirling portal, and if they approach it and the bearded devil that's guarding it... They've fought bearded devils before, but they were kind of weakened. They were around a lot of silver dust, so the players' weapons were able to penetrate their damage resistance. Then the devils all have telepathy. And so without even making a sound, the bearded devil will be able to call to all nearby devils. These guys are just going to be just smashing stuff. Oh, what if the portal was in the fountain? That'd be kind of funny. Oh boy, that is asking for trouble. That is asking for trouble. I don't care. Looks great. Looks great. Lion Nation. I never got into audiobooks either, but I had come to terms with the fact that if I don't listen to them, then I just won't end up reading them at all. You know, that's a really good point. And I think you can get... I think I can get like a library thing on my phone. We'll put the portal here. I think this is the general store. No, we'll put it here. We'll put it here. Why not? And get some audiobooks for free. Oh man, this is going to be awesome. So a bunch of them are going to come pouring out of here. And a bunch, you know what? They could come pouring out of each of these buildings. That would be a proper trap. Oh, I really hope this page can load later. Alright. These guys are so easy. They don't even have a challenge rating. The challenge rating is 0. So I am pretty... Oh no! I'm pretty comfortable throwing a crap ton of them at the players. These guys are just legion. And they are just infesting all the buildings in town. Or at least in this square. And they will just unleash in a tide of lemures. I believe they do need air. I don't know, they're fleshy masses, devils, you know. They're not undead. If undead, you can bury them beneath the ground. Lion Nation. Oh, library's a good idea for this because I'm listening right now. It's just on YouTube. But once I want to listen to things that are still under copyright claim, I wasn't sure I was going to do without like paying for Audible or something like that. Lion Nation, you should check out the readings I have done for all the lore I've written for Camelot Unchained. It's on the City State Games YouTube channel. They're all like organized out of order, so you kind of have to hunt for the right order. But if you do that, yeah, and you're interested, you can listen to all of the lore read out loud by me. Has this place been smashed up too? I think it has to have been, yeah. There are going to be so many enemies. Okay, I hope this page can load later. It's gonna be fun. Let's try right now. All right. There's the old size. Or it looks much better. Hey, easy to load page. Okay, so this building's on fire, so we won't put the mass of them there then. That'll just be an on fire building. I don't think I'm gonna put in. Well, I don't know. I could. It would be nice to put the ship in and stuff. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Oh boy. That's not giving me any problems zooming in and out. I was having more trouble on the tinted the tinted page with the Yeth Hounds. Alright. You know what? I should check if limerés are in fact oh, you know what? They'll be on here. Let's see. Nope. There. Let's see what their relationship to fire is. Devil's Sight, magical darkness does impede the limerés' dark vision. Hellish Rejuvenation, limited dies of the 9 hells, comes back to life with all its hit points. See, like, this is just who cares? This isn't the 9 hells, I guess. But like, what area of the 9 hells are you going to be in 1d10 days later? So a random number of days. I guess if it was like in one day, you might still be in the same location of the 9 hells. But it's like, it's such a... I just can't care about that. Damage immunities fire. Oh, perfect. Oh my god. Wow. So they are just going to be in this building. Of course, when it collapses, it'll crush them. But limerés are very, very stupid. So probably enough wisdom to get out of the building once it's actually collapsing on them. But not smart enough to realize that it's going to collapse. I can hear my computer laboring to load this giant page and stream at the same time. Alright. Alright. That'll be awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to spring this little limeré, this little devil trap on them. Because I think they'll go for it. I mean, there's this thing in the middle of the square calling your attention. We're going to put a bearded devil that they're familiar with. Right in smack dab guarding... Whoa! Oh, that's his stats. That's not what I want. Yes, yes, okay. The Barbezo. Ooh. I'll just do... He's the leader of the limerés. I forget what his, telepathy range is. Devil's Sight, magic resistance. Oh, he doesn't have telepathy? There we go. Telepathy 120 feet to talk to other devils. To call them to him. So easily in range of all these guys. I mean, the players being, you know, wanting to protect Taurine. If they're not careful, I mean, I'm going to make these buildings dark. The windows are dark, you know, there's noise everywhere. I think I'm just going to move a bunch of the limerés. No, they can stay there. There's noise everywhere. So it's not going to seem all that special to hear the sound of smashing and crashing and screaming from within each of these buildings. The other thing I should do is I should put the ship on the map. Lion Nation got 30 or so pages of chemistry to read now. Fun stuff. Catch you later. Thanks for dropping by, Lion Nation. I had fun chatting with you. Good to see you. Kenny, I don't think people would survive a long visit to any area in hell in either of my settings. Yeah. Hell tends to not be a nice place, right? One assumes. Okay. Not going to worry too much about the exact size, because I don't really want the players to... The traveling menagerie... Actually, you know what? I think it might not even be in Taurine anymore. Once the devils started attacking, Stray pretty much just takes off. Yep. You're going to have to head to Arkney. Alright, well that seems pretty cool. And I'm going to put the players on here as well in case that helps them load later. Definitely gonna want to make sure everybody can load in. All right. Devils and demons are already powerful. Their plane causes all sorts of crazy stuff to happen. For example, even if you're level 20, in a plane street, if a plane street says non-natives get minus 10 levels, this won't be a long adventure. Yeah, that's true. The reason this town has been attacked by a bunch of low-level devils is because the players found a map from an ancient empire, the Kingdom of Ebb. And when they touched the spot where this town was marked on the map, an X appeared over it, and some health was drained from the player character that touched it. And this map is the focus of a terribly powerful bargain between an archmage of the Kingdom of Ebb and a demon prince, a devil prince, a lord of hell. And so the devils are required to wipe up this town, but since this is not a particularly well-defended town, the the paladin protector of it, was killed in the opening scene of the campaign. The devils are only going to the ancient market. The devils only want to expend as little resources as possible, really. So they're going to force the Lemures onto this plane. And there may be some imps or other things kind of scattered roundabout. Who knows? I think on this page we can have the full swirling portal and not worry about it so much. Alright, it is starting to get late and I am starting to get very tired. So I might have to call this prep done. For now, I'll be back. No, that's dumb. Forget that. Alright, good night, Kenny. Good night, thank you, everybody who watches this, whether live or later on. I appreciate the heck out of you, and thanks for the suggestions. I can't wait to have this night Yeth Hound encounter, and then the horror on the players' faces. Hopefully the cameras will be working. When they get to Taurine and find it in such a state. But that's it for now. Boy, it really does not like the tinting, huh? That's it for now, so good night. Thanks again. And hopefully I'll be back and able to stream again soon. I'm still trying, every night, but often lately there have been other things I've had to deal with. So hopefully I can get back to streaming at the regular time on a more regular basis again. Good night. Thanks.